Good morning, dear students. Now, today we will see one more topic, and it is liquefaction of gas and critical phenomena. Liquefaction of gas means when a gas is given high pressure at low temperature, it liquefies. That means it converts its state of gas to liquid. This is called liquefaction of gas. Here, when temperature is decreased, what happens? Movement of the molecule will become less. And as molecule movement will become less, then the force of attraction amongst them start developing because they will not be away from each other and their kinetic energy will be less. Also, pressure is given high, so molecules will try to come closer. And because of these two factors, lowering the temperature and increase the pressure, the force of attraction among the molecule will increase and even molecule will start coming closer. So, the gases will start converting to liquid because of the stronger attraction. Now, in earlier days, many gases such as hydrogen sulfide, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, ammonia, they were liquefied very easily, but the exact phenomena were not explained. So, scientist Andrew wanted to know that how it takes place, and so he then explained the phenomena. He compressed the carbon dioxide gas and observed the different observation and plotted the isotherm. Now again we need to recall what is isotherm. Isotherm, therm stands for temperature. So when temperature is constant, then the graph plotted is termed as isotherms. We have discussed this when we discussed about Charles' law, Boyle's law, as well as Gay-Lussac's law. Isotherms, isobars, isopores, right? So at various pressure and keeping constant temperature, the graph was plotted for P versus V. Here even I have plotted P versus V, right? What is here observed? Here the gas graph shows that at very high temperature, see here 50 degree. At very high temperature, the gas will almost show the curve which is near to the straight line as ideal gas. Then as the temperature is decreasing, see here 31.1 now, 50, then decrease to 31.1, then little deviation is seen. Still when it decreases 30.98 degrees Celsius, then we can see the graph is showing lot of deviation compared to this and now here. Now when compared to this on 30.98, when a peak was drawn, then the point which is shown here, this point, at this point the gas starts liquefying. So here the carbon dioxide gas appeared liquefied. This was the observation of Andrew, right? And then on this basis what he has given the result that we are going to discuss now. So 30.98 degree Celsius, Andrew gave that it is the critical temperature, and the point shown at the peak in the graph is called critical point. And he gave the conclusion that above 30.98 degrees Celsius it is gas, and below 30.98 degrees Celsius it is liquid. So critical temperature is that temperature above which a gas cannot be liquefied. And still temperature decreases, then graph gives straight line BC, which is shown in graph at 21.5 degree Celsius. See here, this is again decreased temperature 21.5, and here the curve is shown where we can see this is straight line and then again a deviation. So this is at very low temperature, right? So Andrews has analyzed these values and he has given this analysis of the graph also. The graph curve ABCD consists three parts, right? This C, A, B, C, D. So first part is A to B, second is B to C, third is C to D, right? What is here? At A, the pressure is high where the substance remains in the gaseous state. At B, what happens? The pressure is little less, so it becomes liquid. And at B to C, the pressure is still very less, so both vapor form and liquid form coexist here. And at point D, the pressure is very less, right? Because it is according to Boyle's law. If volume increases here, then pressure is decreased, right? It is inversely proportional. So here it appears liquid. Thus B to C is a fusion graph, or it is a parabola graph where the gas behave as mixture of both liquid and vapor. So these all were the study of scientist Andrew. See, at high pressure gas, at B less pressure liquid, B to C very less pressure, vapor and liquid both coexist, D still very less pressure, so appears as liquid, right? So scientist Andrews thus concluded a point and stated that critical temperature when it is very high liquefaction of gas is easier. He even undertook liquefaction of hydrogen, ammonia, carbon dioxide and noted following observations. Now let us see the observation and results of Andrews' experiments. So critical temperature of hydrogen was noted 33.2 Kelvin, which is very less than room temperature, because room temperature is 298 Kelvin. So here critical temperature of hydrogen is very much below than room temperature, and that is why it is difficult to liquefy hydrogen gas. The next is critical temperature of ammonia 405 Kelvin and critical temperature of carbon dioxide 304 Kelvin. Both these critical temperature are higher than room temperature, and so it is easy to liquefy ammonia and carbon dioxide gas. So from all this he has given that critical temperature is a temperature above which gas cannot be liquefied, and it is represented as Tc. Cp is a minimum pressure to liquefy a gas at constant critical temperature, and it is represented by Pc. Cv is the volume occupied by the gas at critical temperature and critical pressure, and it is represented as Vc, where C are written everywhere in the subscript on right side. Now when Tc, Pc and Vc are corrected with van der Waals constant A and B, then the value is Tc critical temperature is equal to 8A upon 27 Rb, where A and B are van der Waals constant and R is gas constant. Critical pressure is equal to A by 27B square, and critical volume is equal to 3B. Now let us see here numericals on Dalton's law of partial pressure. The question is, a neon and oxygen gas mixture contains 70.6 gram of oxygen and 167.5 gram of neon. If pressure of the mixture of gases in the cylinder is 25 bar, what is the partial pressure of oxygen and neon in the mixture, right? So here total pressure is already given, that if in the cylinder the pressure is 25 bar, then what are the partial pressure? And we know the Dalton's theory. What is Dalton's theory? Dalton's theory tell us that the total pressure is equal to sum of the pressure of the gases which are there in a mixture, and that individual pressure are considered as partial pressure in a total pressure. So we are in need to calculate partial pressures of O2 and N. What are the given? The given content here is for P total 25 bar. Mass of the oxygen is given 70.6 gram and mass of the neon is given 167.5 gram. Now, what is asked to us? Partial pressure of the respective gas. So here, if in general we say partial pressure of respective gas, then the formula is mole fraction of respective gas into total pressure. So now, as we want to calculate mole fraction, then what we need? We need the moles of that respective gas and the total moles. So to calculate the moles, we need the mass of the given of the gas as well as molecular mass of those gases. So here mass are given. Now we will calculate molar mass. So molar mass of O2. O is having 16 atomic mass units. So O2 will be 16 to the 32 gram per mole. And neon is having 20 gram per mole. Right? So now what we will do? First of all, we will calculate number of moles of oxygen, number of moles of neon. Mass given by molecular mass, so it will be 2.21, and here 167.5 upon 20, so it is 8.37. When we 8.37, what we will need? We need total number of moles. So add the moles of O2 and neon, it is 10.58 moles. Now mole fraction of O2. So number of moles of O2 by total number of moles. Here mole fraction of Ni, number of moles of Ni upon number of total moles. So we have already calculated. So 2.21 divided by 10.58 and 8.37 divided by 10.58. We get mole fraction of O2 is 0.21 and mole fraction of Ni, that is 0.79. Now putting the value partial pressure of O2 and Ne. So partial pressure of O2 is equal to mole fraction of O2 multiplied by total pressure. So 0.21 into 25 bar will give us the partial pressure of O2. In the similar manner, we will get partial pressure of Ne 19.75 bar. Clear? Now see here, this is our textual question 5.7. What will be the pressure exerted by a mixture of 3.2 gram CH4 methane and 4.4 gram CO2 carbon dioxide contained in a 9 decimeter cube flask at 27 degree Celsius? So here what will be the pressure exerted? So we are in need to find out total pressure exerted by these two gases, right? So P total is to be find out, and what is P total? P total is equal to sum of the given gases in a mixture. So partial pressure of methane plus partial pressure of carbon dioxide, sum of these two will give us total pressure, right? Little different than the question which we have discussed now. Their total pressure was given and we need to find out this two, and here total pressure is to be calculated. What are given values? Volume is given in decimeter cube, so let us convert it to meter cube because it will be convenient for us when we will consider all the units in SI system, right? Temperature is 27 degrees Celsius, so it will be converted to Kelvin, 300 Kelvin. Now here number of moles again, mass given by molecular mass. So mass is already given, methane 3.2 and 12 plus 4 because one hydrogen are 4, so 12 plus 4 16 molecular mass of methane, and CO2 that is 4.4 gram is given, and molecular mass is C plus O2 So 16 2s are 32 for oxygen and 12 for carbon dioxide. So 32 plus 12 will be 44 gram. Now putting all this value, we have PV is equal to nRT. N stands for number of moles, and now number of moles is calculated as mass by molecular mass, and V when we'll take to the right hand side, it will goes to denominator. Putting all these value, now we have mass upon molecular mass, we have temperature, we have volume, and all of this when we have Kelvin, temperature in Kelvin, and here we have volume in meter cube. So we will take the value of R constant as Pascal. So it is 8.314 meter cube Pascal per Kelvin per mole, right? So putting the values, we will get 55.43, which I have converted to scientific form, 5.54 into 10 raised to 4 Pascal. Similarly, we will be calculating for partial pressure of carbon dioxide, right, where the mass given is 4.4 and molecular mass 44. Volume we will put this all, only here this is the change, and here also writing in a scientific way, it is 2.77 into 10 raised to 4 Pascal. Add this to partial pressure and you will get total pressure, that is 8.31 into 10 raised to 4 Pascal. This is one question I have written over here, so please go through it. It is for your practice. You have to try yourself, right? You have to read the question properly and find out whether which law is applicable to it. This is our textual question 5.19, that is 19th. A mixture of hydrogen and oxygen at 1 bar pressure contains 20% by weight of H2. That is 20% weight of H2 is there. Calculate the partial pressure of H2. We need to calculate partial pressure here. And another gas is there, O2. But we are asked only for hydrogen. Now here one simple thing we have to assume, that percentage is given. So we will be taking that percentage when given, then it is for 100, a basic number. So here it is by weight. That means it is in the gram. If I consider the 100 gram total, then H2 is 20 gram, right? So now as percentage given, so let us assume that the mixture of gases weighs 100 gram. Now mixture is 100 gram, and out of that, if hydrogen is 20, what about oxygen? So my mass of hydrogen 20 gram, total pressure is given 1 bar, mass of oxygen is 100 minus 20, that is 80 gram. Molecular mass of H2 2 gram per mole, of O2 32 gram per mole. Putting the values of mass given and molecular mass, 20 by 2, that is 10 moles, and for oxygen 80 by 32, 2.5 moles. Addition of this two will give total number of moles. With the help of moles and total number of moles, we will be able to get mole fraction of hydrogen, and after getting mole fraction of hydrogen, when we put its value in the equation of partial pressure, then we will get 0.8 bar, that is the partial pressure of hydrogen. Here also one more question I have given. It is also extra question. Please go through it. Here little difference is there. To what temperature should it be heated so that the volume gets? Two conditions are given. One condition, volume gets doubled, and the other condition is volume reduced to half. So actually we need to see whether the volume 1 is given. Yes, 400 ml is given. Now in the first, your volume 2 is doubled, and here it is reduced to half in relation of first volume. So please go to the question. This is the little hint I have given, and try to solve which law is applicable, right? Thank you.